The Titanic disaster is famous for its advanced technology and supposed unsinkability, but it's not history's worst shipwreck. We've accumulated a history of 5 tragic shipwrecks that were as sad as the Titanic, with hundreds and thousands of fatalities and repercussions. But before we dive into today's video, take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on our upcoming videos. Sultana Steamboat. The Sultana was a steamboat that exploded and sank on April 27, 1865, in the Mississippi River, resulting in the deaths of 1,167 people, marking it as the deadliest maritime disaster in U.S. history. Built in 1863, the wooden vessel was designed to carry 376 passengers, but was overloaded with 2,128 individuals, primarily Union soldiers returning from the Civil War, when the tragedy occurred near Memphis, Tennessee. The disaster coincided with the end of the Civil War and the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln, which overshadowed the tragic event in the press. The Sultana, under Captain James Casmason, made critical errors that led to the disaster. Before embarking from Vicksburg to New Orleans, the ship underwent a hasty and inadequate repair of a leaking boiler, pressured by the captain's financial interests and the urgent need to transport many recently released Union prisoners. The repair was insufficient and led to the explosion of the ship's boilers. Overcrowding contributed to the disaster, as the ship carried 6 times its legal capacity. This severe overload, combined with structural weaknesses, made the vessel highly vulnerable to the river's challenging conditions, particularly as it crossed the flooded Mississippi during one of the river's worst spring floods. No individual was held accountable for the catastrophe. The official cause was identified as mismanagement of the steamboat's water levels and boilers, worsened by the excessive load. Despite numerous theories, including sabotage, the primary reasons were the boat's poor maintenance, the captain's negligence, and systemic failures in safety regulation enforcement. After the tragedy, the Sultana remains a historic lesson of neglect and the catastrophic consequences of compromising safety for profit on the sea. MV Lajula. The MV Lajula tragedy, occurring on September 26, 2002, is among the deadliest maritime disasters, second only to the Titanic, with 1,163 confirmed fatalities. Originally built for 580 passengers, the ferry was grossly overloaded with an estimated 1,863 individuals, many unrecorded due to a lack of tickets, worsening the disaster's severity. The incident took place when Lajula ventured beyond its licensed coastal boundaries into a violent storm, causing it to capsize off the Gambia's coast. Other contributing factors included the ferry's instability due to overcrowded decks and inadequate maintenance, despite a recent reconstruction that failed to address long-standing technical issues. The vast majority of passengers, including over 600 women and 444 children, perished due to the delayed rescue operations, which began hours after the vessel sank. Only 64 individuals survived this tragic event. The aftermath saw criticism directed at Senegalese authorities for negligence and poor maintenance standards, despite public outcry and a governmental inquiry blaming the ship's captain for the tragedy. There were no significant prosecutions, leaving the families of the victims with little justice. The Dona Paz ferry in the Philippines in 1987. The MV Dona Paz disaster on December 20, 1987, remains one of the most tragic maritime accidents, with an estimated 4,285 fatalities. The ferry, originally built as Himayuri Maru, with a capacity for 608 passengers, was significantly overcrowded, with reports suggesting over 4,000 people on board, far exceeding the manifest's 1,493 passengers and 59 crew members. The disaster occurred when the Dona Paz collided with the oil tanker Vector, which was carrying over 1 million liters of gasoline. The collision caused a massive fire and led to the ferry's rapid sinking. A few of the primary causes of the tragedy include severe overcrowding, the ferry operating without necessary safety measures like functional life jackets or radio, and the Vector sailing without a license, proper lookout, or qualified master. Many victims were not listed on the official manifest, complicating rescue efforts and the subsequent identification process. Rescue operations were significantly delayed, resulting in only 26 survivors. The aftermath revealed a lack of organized emergency response and inadequate safety regulations within the Philippine maritime industry. Investigations highlighted negligence from both vessels' crews, but mainly attributed the blame to Vector's unlicensed operation. Despite the scale of the disaster, legal actions primarily targeted Vector's owners, with Sulpicio Lines initially being exonerated, but later facing court rulings for compensation to victims' families. The MV Doña Paz Morau's sinking underscores critical maritime safety standards and enforcement failures. Morau Castle. On September 8, 1934, the Morau Castle, a state-of-the-art ocean liner, ended up wrecked on the New Jersey coast, leading to the discovery of numerous passenger bodies and marking one of history's most severe maritime disasters. Despite its technological advancements and impressive speed, capable of making the New York to Havana journey in just 2 days, the Morau Castle faced tragedy on its final voyage. On September 5, 1934, after setting off, the ship encountered a storm, and the captain, Robert Wilmot, unexpectedly died, raising suspicions among the crew. The inexperienced chief officer William Worms took over and struggled with the ship's advanced technology. As Morau Castle battled the storm at full speed, a fire broke out, further worsening by the luxurious yet flammable interior. The crew, untrained in handling such emergencies, failed to manage the situation, leading to widespread panic and chaos. Despite being near New Jersey, Worms did not direct the ship to safety, worsening the disaster. Although the fire's cause remains unclear, there are theories ranging from arson to technical malfunctions. Also, Chief Radio Operator George Rogers, known for a criminal past, was later suspected of involvement but was never conclusively linked to the fire. The incident left many questions unanswered, including the presence of illegal passengers and hidden cargo, suggesting deeper issues beyond mere accidents. SS Arctic, a 2,008 56-ton paddle steamer of the Collins Line, collided with the French steamer SS Vesta off Newfoundland on September 27, 1854, while en route to New York from Liverpool. As per reports, the collision occurred due to visibility issues caused by fog and resulted from a lack of proper lookout and the failure to slow the ship in foggy conditions. Despite being known for speed and luxury, Arctic did not have enough lifeboats for all passengers. There were around 400 people on board, but lifeboats could only accommodate about 180. Panic and disorder marked the launching of lifeboats, violating the women and children first principle, resulting in the deaths of all women and children aboard. Out of approximately 250 passengers and 150 crew members, only 24 male passengers and 61 crew survived. The incident led to over 300 deaths, with significant figures among the casualties. Despite public outcry and condemnation of the crew's actions, no official inquiry was held, and lifeboat regulations remained unchanged until the 20th century. The disaster highlighted the inadequacies in maritime safety and crew responsibilities of the era. Outro. Would it be incorrect to say that safety measures were compromised in these 5 historic instances? Witnessing these tragic shipwrecks, from fires to capsizing, passengers aboard these vessels have faced their deadliest nightmares, holding their breath for what seemed like an eternity. However, these disasters have indeed highlighted the urgent need for enhanced safety protocols and improved crew training for emergency situations. What are your thoughts on these incidents? Are there any other shipwrecks that send shivers down your spine? Share with us in the comments.